first attempt, a 695. Let's go to the beginning of this journey, right?
Yes.
How did your thought of attempting the GMAT, take place in your mind, and how did you land up at e-GMAT?
So the thought of GMAT landed up was there were two ways to go through MBA. Basically, if we think about it as an Indian, two major ways. One is CAT, another is GMAT. Personally, I found GMAT much more to my taste rather than CAT. The way about going, solving the questions, and everything. GMAT requires much more conceptual knowledge rather than other parts of the process as well. The concept speaks more in GMAT, especially. And I had seen on GMAT Club while going through that most of the 700 plus course which I wanted was from e-GMAT. And I have a cousin who had a prior experience with e-GMAT a few years back, and he also suggested the same to me. So I
Right.
approached, I think I connected with Vabhav at the time. And thus, at the same time, if I had to say, it was GMAT, both of those things combined gave me the decision, as well as the course was completely within my budget as well.
Right.
Especially, the study profile that you give in the beginning, right? So
Right.
it gave me a complete journey how to proceed from the score I have and how I
Mm.
would proceed with it throughout my journey, which gave me an area of focus, especially
Right.
that we do one subject first and then move on to the second. Because I
Right.
had been studying on and off, and studying all three subjects at the same time hadn't really been clicking for me. So this
Mm.
approach as well really helped me out.
I'm glad you actually brought this up because um, oh, I wasn't intending to ask a question on this, but I'm glad that you brought this up because we have a lot of course, GMAT aspirants who are enrolled with us who, wish to go through all the sections together because they believe that, doing one thing is monotonous and saturating. And we need to explain to them why do we suggest doing one thing at a time. And I think what you just said, I think, testifies why we say it because the
Yeah.
result is right in front of everybody,
Yeah.
right? So that's great. So Akshat, let's start with the verbal journey, right?
Yes.
You took a diagnostic mock, you scored a 575, you scored a V79, right?
Yes.
V79 is not that bad as well, but it does indicate that you need to work your way up, right?
Yes.
So what were the initial challenges that you were facing in verbal? Let us speak about CR first.
CR. The initial challenge was the approach was missing from me when it comes to assumption, especially the concept of pre-thinking was completely absent. So
Right,
I would be going through the questions and assumption. Very the basic is the thing of must be true, which is not
right,
which differentiates it from strength and weak and other questions. But so I was confused between all these, and I would go through end up marking something which would be a strengthening or weakening uh, answer choice in the assumption questions. I was
right,
especially weak with boldface.
right,
Boldface was completely new to me. I had no idea how to approach it. Even during my cementing, I think I did approach you for boldface notes. After
right,
I had finished my cementing itself, I still felt that I need to improve my boldface.
right, right. So these were your issues with CR. When I look at your CR course, I see that you did it. You've actually done things extremely diligently, I must say, right?
Yes.
These are your journey grades. Of course, in the beginning it was a B, but you slowly gathered momentum and then you really got into your own and you did really well, right? And if I have to show everybody your cementing progress, I think it is really motivating because cementing is a challenging journey, to be
Yeah.
honest, right? And a lot of people struggle with it, right? A straight, poor performance on CR medium
Yeah.
cementing After that, working on the improvement plans
Yes.
diligently, and then look at this trajectory, right? Help everybody understand the journey between those poor medium cementing scores to ending up with such high hard cementing scores, because these questions are difficult, they are challenging. And
Mm.
how did pre-thinking, the process skill for CR, help you attain this score?
It was actually pre-thinking.
Okay.
By medium cementing, the thing which made the difference was pre-thinking. I wasn't pre-thinking during my initial phase of cementing. I felt like it was taking a lot of time, and I wanted to skip it. Why not go to the options and see? Maybe it would just fit. And
Right.
sometimes it did. Sometimes it led me astray. But I would only know what led me astray at the end of the exam, which would give me the result.
Right.
After three cementing quizzes, I realized no, I need to go back to basics. I went back to the application files again, and
Right.
I saw. Then I spent more and more time on improving my pre-thinking skills, doing those application files and practice files again.
Right.
And even if I had done those questions already, I wanted to drill that process into my brain
Mm.
to make it more natural rather
Right.
than forcibly applying it.
Mm.
It should come naturally to me. So that's what happened in hard cementing. Pre-thinking was naturally coming to me, and what the most it helped was it actually saves a lot of time,
Right.
because while you're analyzing answer choices, sometimes it might just be, and a lot of times it did, that my pre-thought assumption was part of the answer,
Right.
which helped me eliminate, as well as if I know this is, uh, I thought it also gave me more confidence,
Right.
and the confidence boost with verbal was what I really needed, because in the since I had not scored well in the diagnostic mock, and seeing those
Right.
medium cementing scores, it was a little disheartening. But seeing that working again, so I could see, yeah, I just have to follow the process.
Right. That's correct. That's it. Thank you so much for sharing these insights about your CR challenges and how you overcame them. To RC, right?
Yeah,
RC initially, I believe, did not pose as big a challenge as CR did,
yeah,
but RC stayed as a section that would trouble you sometimes occasionally,
yeah,
even till the last few weeks before you took the test. So,
yes.
so help us with what exactly were your issues there and what helped you overcome those issues in there.
The initial issue which I sorted out was that not taking notes.
Okay,
While I started the course with taking notes throughout it, through medium cementing, as I became more confident, I, for some reason, felt that maybe I can save time by not taking handwritten notes here,
right,
which is not which didn't help,
right,
to be honest. As you can see,
yeah,
finally, after the first three cementing, when I had time, I could do it. But after in the standard timing, I initially struggled when I
right,
got this 30 something percent.
yeah,
And then I thought, yeah, maybe yes, this is necessary. And you did give me Rajat's video as well
video, yeah,
during the time. And I went through it, and Rajat really emphasized on the importance of taking notes at the time.
okay,
Yeah, and so I did went back, and I saw that I was taking elaborate notes,
okay,
which was the actual thing that was consuming my time.
right,
I was taking elaborate notes. I What I needed to do was not drop the notes, but make my notes more precise.
mm, correct,
And even after my cementing phase, yeah, I kept telling you that I feel a little underconfident uh, with RC. And
right,
a lot of those weaknesses were exposed when I took the Coach Connect sessions.
right,
Right? One was author's POV. It was a
correct,
very basic thing which I had completely forgotten, that inference is
mm,
always from the point of view of author, never
right,
from the point of view of third person data.
right,
So I think Shraddha's session, it was,
right,
I had taken that session and it really did. After that session, I started completely differentiating when author is saying I need. I made it a habit that initially, at least, I'm watching out when author is, and gradually it became a part of my process. So
Right,
I see the point of view. So there, but even during the mocks, I think it wasn't very consistent.
right,
But I followed the process and. With my notes, as I became more precise, my RC skills improved. And even when I was scoring during my third, fourth mock, it didn't go really well.
right.
But I could see that there is no conceptual gap, which
Correct.
gave me a lot of confidence.
Right, right.
It was
Uh,
the attention to detail thing which was missing, where
right.
I would be taking notes and looking at the timer, I would try to speed up, and then I had to calm myself down, read
Yeah.
slowly. This is where it all matters.
Right.
You have to read slowly and precisely.
Correct. Correct. Okay. Since you just mentioned Coach Connect, to all those who don't know, it's the new product offering where we have live sessions, right, from
Yeah.
our experts. Akshat, what prompted you to purchase the Coach Connect subscription, and how did that help? How did you leverage Coach Connect live sessions?
Initially, I did two or three sessions based on one was first was verbal workshop. Then I did a session on critical reasoning. Both
Hmm.
of the sessions really helped me out because I'm a person who does feel a lot more confident when I'm doing a face to face. Even if it was not face to face, I was interacting directly, right? So it did give me a lot of confidence. And my sessions, like I said, Shraddha's session and Rajat's session as well. These were the
Right.
two initial two RC sessions that I did. The approach to questions, where I was going wrong, maybe this little thing that I was doing wrong, I could see it getting exposed very
Correct.
precisely with different and the homeworks as well, the
Right.
quality of homeworks as well. So this
Right.
was where I felt, I should do this. And
Right.
it was also keeping me in touch with the courses I had done back then, since I was
Right.
in doing DI at at the time. So I felt like initially I had lost some touch with verbal,
Okay.
even though I was doing the 10, and it did gradually improve my performance, especially in verbal fastly.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would
Yeah,
heavily
and that's great.
give credit to Coach Connect for my RC improvement.
Yes, yes, I'm aware because I remember after you attended a session, Payal got in touch with me and she shared your RC issues with me. Uh,
Yeah,
Again, which shows that Payal and Rajat themselves being so busy are also so invested in each
yeah.
and every student, right? So, and then we as a team are also pretty much in contact with respect to discussing students and the progress. So
Mhm.
she did get in touch with me. She did share that you were facing some issues, and that's what I think I shared an improvement plan with you with Rajat's video. I think, and that's where
Yeah,
things
Payal
became
did
better.
send me a separate message on a session as well that
Right.
you are creating a special plan for me with RC.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that really helped me out. Yeah.
Right. So thank you for sharing that as well. So Akshat, we at 85, right? It's a fantastic score, and now that people would have heard your journey, they've surely realized that it wasn't as easy as the score makes it look like, right? You did have your own bit of struggle. Coming to quant, right? It was a strength,
Yeah.
right? And because this was a strength, I think space AI really played an important role here because you saved around, I believe, 42 hours,
Yeah.
right?
Something around 40 hours in total.
Yes. So you saved around 42 hours on the course, right? So how was your experience going through the quant course? What were the things that you learned? Were there any gaps that you figured out while going through, even though you had an 87? Yeah,
Initially, I started with 87, and as per
right,
my LMP program, you had asked me to take a sectional so that to
right,
verify if I'm still at the
correct.
same level of ability or not.
Yeah,
And I had lost touch with a lot of concepts, and I uh, basically tanked it.
yes, I
So
remember.
yeah, so I went back, and the pace AI really helped me out because even though I knew the concept, it was the application of those skills, like where you could actually get tapped out. GMAT
Right,
special files. Initially, it would be application files, concept files, and then it would be process skill files where you using
right,
the process, and then you go to the GMAT style questions.
correct.
So that really helped me out because most of the concept files I had skipped
Yeah, you can
through.
see this.
Yeah.
There are more than 15 to 18 files here, and you've
Yes.
gone through hardly 5 files after
Yes.
taking the initial diagnostic quizzes.
Yes. Yeah, so it was more per my style because even
Right,
I felt like I know the concept. So at the same time, going through the process skill files and how to apply those process which I already had uh,
right,
skills and applying them to GMAT style questions was something that really helped me save the times on. I saved a lot of time in word problems.
yeah, 12 hours.
Yes.
Fantastic. Right,
Word problems was something like word problems is the area where my weakness were getting exposed because in the hard cementing you can see that I didn't do well initially.
yes. So medium cementing, you were like a champ there, but
Yeah,
initially you weren't doing well here. I think
yeah,
WP is kind of similar to RC because you were
yeah,
facing our issues there. I think that
yes,
was reflecting here.
yeah. Attention to detail.
Yeah,
Don't miss it. What's written.
you're right. So Akshat, how did these process skills that you learn on these courses help you strengthen your quant abilities?
Like I said, I already had the concept
Yeah,
in my brain. And using those process skills, I could see how the questions would come. Like the
right,
approach to applying those concepts, how the
right,
question is worded, how you would infer, how you take out what you want from the question, turn it into a simple mathematical equation or problem, and then apply those process skills to that data and remove all the unnecessary things that's creating the noise there.
right,
That was what which helped, and that came before attempting GMAT skill questions, right?
right,
Since I had already refined my process skills, I could go and approach the GMAT skills questions where how it would be worded, how it would be worded in the GMAT exam, especially
right,
not just a problem, but how GMAT would want me to solve that problem.
right, right. So while I mean, you've never taken the GMAT before this attempt, and you probably will not after this. So, did you find any similarity or resemblance between questions from verbal Scholaranium, Quant Scholaranium, and the test itself?
Definitely. Even during the main GMAT exam, it was some questions were like, yeah, is this from the Scholaranium itself? It
Okay,
was, to be honest, and since I had done a lot of practice, a lot of questions, so I knew what the range of questions in Scholaranium are really good. It was
right,
even while doing from GMAT prep, the mock tests, a lot of questions did come from Scholaranium style. So it
right,
really helped me out. The range of questions they do cover complete what kind of questions GMAT wants to ask. They
right,
expose me to a lot of styles of questions, how I would like to approach them when it comes on the
right,
test, right? Because the whole point is to get exposed to those questions and know what to think of, how to take that approach there,
right.
not to get involved. Again, same thing, concept, how you apply the concept there.
Yeah, right. Uh, so, I mean, I think you answered two incorrect questions on
Yeah.
the test, which is why you scored an 87. Otherwise, I believe a Q90 was on the cards.
Yeah,
That's what your
definitely.
Scholaranium stat showed.
I would have loved to score a Q90, which I think because during the exam there was no question, I feel I couldn't have done. Everything
Yeah,
simply clicked. So I
right.
would have loved to score Q90, but I did make two mistakes,
Yeah,
sadly.
yeah, that was unfortunate. Nevertheless, you still have your dream score, so the
Yeah,
overall picture looks beautiful,
yeah,
right? All right. Let's move to DI. Okay,
yes.
DI was again, a new section introduced in the new edition, right? What were your initial thoughts about it? Were there any inhibitions on how would you be able to do it and everything? So how was the DI journey? What helped make DI journey easy?
When I took the diagnostic mock, my view of DI was this thing is very abstract.
Yeah,
That was what.
yeah,
Uh, Once I was done with verbal and quants,
mm,
so I could feel that yeah, this section, yeah, it's doable now because everything was TPA, DS, MSR, and GITA. It did take quants and verbal, but it is something of a section of its own. But
right.
TPA, DS, and MSR, these definitely are an application of quants and verbal.
Yeah,
So once I was doing DI after doing these two sections, I could see that there is a process to it.
right,
It's not abstract at all. It makes sense. So especially TPA again, I wasn't doing pre-thinking in the initial part,
right,
and so which was haunting me once more.
right,
So the questions were simply verbal questions were simply CR and RC.
right,
So once I understood that, I have to apply the same skills here as well. It
right,
may be a two-part analysis questions, but it again boils down to the same thing. And with quants, I think for me in TPA quants, it was more about reading what the question was actually asking before attempting the two-part. And DS was where if I had to say, it tested my pride, especially in the con section. I didn't struggle with the verbal section of DS, but while I was doing hard questions, it tested because cons is something I can do. And since
yeah,
I realized that the approach to this data sufficiency is not the same as approach to a cons question. I don't have to get the answer.
right.
So since I am strong in quants, so I want to get the answer, which was what DS was taking, and I would end up taking a lot of time in some questions.
Yeah,
So I had to rectify that habit.
correct.
Two of my lowest mark scores with DI was because I was giving this unnecessary amount of time to DS questions
Right,
that if I don't get it, then just move on. Like you said,
correct.
with DI, if you don't get it, just mark it as review and move on.
Right, right. That is true. That was a strategy that we discussed before your test and before your mock session. These are the L20 stats that look fabulous, predicting something above a DI 81, and that's where you get a DI 82. But I think what really helped you in DI was that before you came to DI, you had strengthened your verbal and quant to a
Yeah,
different level. You had become
yeah,
a beast with
yeah,
verbal and quant. Of course, in verbal, RC was still, I think, a slight issue then while you
yeah,
were doing DI, but otherwise, if you see, you were like absolutely sorted there. I think
yes,
that made your life a little easy because you see, look at these hard scores. There,
yeah,
barring this one quiz, there's no hint of, you know, faltering anywhere. Look at this, tall tars, right? So I think your DI journey was fantastic as well, and you just shared your test strategy on how to go about DI, which I think a lot of people would have noted. This does help if you are really comfortable, at least with DS, GIT, and TPA. If these
yeah,
three are your strengths, I think the strategy of quickly, moving ahead from MSR makes sense.
yes,
Right. DI 82, fantastic achievement. You now
yeah,
covered all the bases almost.
yeah,
The mock journey is a different journey in itself.
yes,
It's different. It's not like the cementing journey and all of that.
Yeah.
Let's go through a mock journey. You had some fantastic scores, right?
Yeah.
I remember you had a 695 on one of the Sigma X mocks.
Yes.
You had a 715 on an MBA.com mock.
Not seven, it was 685.
685, right?
Yeah.
And then there were two 655s on Sigma X mock.
And
And the
another
last one was an MBA.com 675.
675. Yeah.
So 685, 695 would have given a lot of confidence,
Yes.
right? So let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
What was going on in your mind when you were scoring those 655s after scoring that 695? How did you pick yourself up and keep yourself in that calm state of mind?
The first 635 was definitely frustrating
I know.
because I did well in verbal, I did well in quants, and I scored 74 in DI,
Yeah,
which sort of irritated me because I know my ability is much above that.
yeah,
So I think I 2 3 day 4 days gap before I gave the mock and scored a 655 again. And this time I didn't just check analyze my first mock, the mock I had just given. I analyzed both mocks, and
right,
the best thing I could see there was, which gave me confidence, was these are not. I can't see the conceptual gaps that weighing me down. It's
right,
time management,
right.
especially with DI. Like time management is such so essential in DI
Correct.
because sometimes the approach just doesn't come with some questions. So I was spending unnecessary amount of time in MSR questions sometimes. In some, like I said, data sufficiency hard questions. They exposed my basically
Yeah,
tested my pride with quants. So that's what it did, and I could see that I'm spending a lot of time with this one.
right,
So with these two, since I did not feel like I have a conceptual gap, it didn't deter me that much when
correct,
I did. And then I went back to the board, set some rules about time, and then again took a MBA.com mock.
right,
At the time, I scored 675, which was an improvement. At the same time, I could see that again, no conceptual gaps,
right,
which was 1 week before my exam. Now
correct,
I can't see any conceptual gap. There is no need to feel disheartened.
right,
Now, what I know, at least what I know, I need to do that in the exam. So the last week, I said, no need to give any mocks because I can see the range of questions which are coming.
right,
I spent the whole week refining, doing what I know, the same kind of questions over and over and over again, which is how I spent my time. And I could feel my confidence build up that I do know the concept. It's just
yeah,
that I need to do it in the test environment. And my concentration, if I have to say, was much better during the test environment compared to
okay,
mock,
the mocks,
because mock was something I was taking it at home, which doesn't exactly a test environment also boosts me up.
right,
So which is why when I scored 695, it was also the individual scores in the set all sets of exam subsections quants, verbal and DI.
yeah,
Scored. It was all of the scores were around what I had predicted after I had finished the section,
okay,
which was also something that I knew what I had done. I knew which questions I was getting correct. I knew which questions I was skipping, and yeah, sure, this could be incorrect.
yeah,
So this is what really gave me a lot of satisfaction. And those 655 and 675, these were not exactly didn't reflect my ability. That's what I felt.
yeah,
And my behavioral issues were the major thorn in my side throughout my journey. Even you know
correct,
that.
yeah,
So I kept my behavioral issues down to the minimum during the exam. I could see that taking a long break, the whole 10-minute break after the verbal section, which I was preferring uh, up till the fourth mock,
yeah,
I gave that up because I felt that it wasn't helping me. I had this warm up thing where I would take time to warm up to the questions, get into the exam mode. So no, I shouldn't take breaks. I could see small areas which could help me improve.
Right. That was smart
Yeah.
because I have never come across somebody who had such a thought process. So then, did you then do quant verbal together and then a break before DI? Did you do that?
Uh, I did take a break before DI. It was 2 to 3 minutes. I just needed to have some water and go to the washroom. That's what I did in the exam, as short as it could be, so that I
Ah,
could
nice,
my mental state in the state of exam itself.
nice,
Don't let
nice.
myself
This is
relax.
nice. You did not use the entire break.
Yeah, while it might help a lot of people, I
Right.
felt like it would not help me. If I
This is
get
so
relaxed,
important.
yeah,
This is so important to know yourself.
yeah,
What works, what doesn't.
yeah. I need to know myself.
Yeah, that's really nice, and that is street smart,
Yeah,
right? And I think these small things, when they collate, they
yes,
culminate into something like this, a 695, right? Small things, but they do matter a lot, right? I'm sure I've taken this lesson. I will certainly share this with the other students that I have,
yeah,
because sometimes people don't know what works for them, what doesn't. So I
yeah,
think I need to do that. And thank you so much for this insight. So Akshat, we are reaching the end. Just
yeah.
last two questions. The first one being, what was the impact and role of the last mile push program? How did that help?
It really gave me to achieve my. You set a target score, and then you basically told me how you need to go about it. You need to
Right,
score this much in hard questions, at
right,
least this much accuracy in hard questions, and then the sectionals, then test readiness, then you move on to the next subsection, and then
right,
again do the same thing. So what it gave me was a sense of going about the purpose,
right.
right? The target, and especially since getting those greens would boost up my confidence as well. It's a
I
small
know.
thing, sounds childish, but still works with
No,
the
it's not
psychology.
childish. I mean,
It's
that's
a
something
scientific.
visual,
That's it.
na?
Yeah, boost your confidence. It's a simple
Yeah.
psychology, human
Yes.
psychology.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's correct.
yeah. So, what to do in order, basically. Don't jump from one thing to the other, but
Right.
do things in order.
Right. So this is for the people who must be wondering what are those greens that Akshat is talking about. These are those greens. Look at this. Such a beautiful picture to look at. Right? This is your plan, Akshat.
Yeah.
This, if you see this consisted, the steps to be taken, the target that Akshat needed to hit because we knew his target score, right? So based on his target score, we had created this plan and he followed it diligently. I don't care about the reds here, Akshat. What I care
Yeah.
about is maintaining this diligently, following things diligently, giving
Yes.
it your all,
Yeah.
right? And so for people who believe that the reds may bring a score down, no, it doesn't,
Mhm.
right? It's okay to have reds. It's about how many greens do you have. If
Yeah.
your greens are more, I mean, nothing like it. Fantastic, fantastic journey, Akshat. I am just, feeling a little nostalgic about all that we did,
Yeah.
right? So that's nice. Sakshat, before we let you go, do you have any piece of advice or anything to share with the GMAT aspirants? Something that you believe really helped you, right? One is self-belief that I can think of. Despite those low scores, you never lost that belief. Apart from that, if you want to share something,
First of all, know yourself. Knowing yourself, you will know how to go about it. You need to fit yourself there through the
right,
journey. What
right,
would work best for you? And I was working full time as well, so I it took me like 4 months for preparation to get to my target score.
Right.
Yeah, even with the full-time job, the myth is that you cannot do it. It doesn't. It's
Yes.
not. That's it. And at the same time, follow the process. It's very simple. Follow the process. You have set a path for yourself.
Right.
Since you have set a path for yourself, all you have to do is hit the targets.
Correct.
And since it's your own target, you have to find the time. You have to find the way to do it.
Right. So, Akshat, with this, we come to the end of this debrief session. I really appreciate the way you candidly shared, I believe, almost every aspect of your journey because, again, I
Yeah,
know I'm repeating, but because I've seen it from close quarters, I know that you did not miss out on anything, I believe. I think you were extremely candid, extremely honest. What
yeah,
worked, what didn't, your struggles,
yeah,
uh, your successes.
yeah,
So I really appreciate that you found some time for this and you thought of giving it back to the community and helping the fellow GMAT aspirants.
yeah.
So thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you as well for all the support throughout my journey. To
Oh,
you,
it
to all,
was pleasure, man. It was pleasure. It was sheer pleasure. And what makes it sweeter is the end result,
yeah,
something that we were working together towards as a team. So I'm
yes,
really glad that this worked out.
yes,
So thank you so much, Akshat. Please stay in touch. Let us know what happens with the application process. Would love to celebrate more victories and more success with you,
yes,
even though from far and from outside, but know that
yeah,
we are your biggest cheerleaders.
yes.
All right. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.